What's up, everyone? Today we have this Ryobi, and the owner brought it to me because he picked it up for free because the previous owner wouldn't start. So you tried to fix it. It will run, but it's just pumping out black smoke, pumping it out. And he got tired of it. He went out, bought a new one, gave this one away. And the owner has a bunch of rental properties, and he gives a mower to one of the houses in exchange for them to mow, so he doesn't have to pay a gardener or a landscaper or whatever. And yeah, he gives him a discount. He's even nice enough to give him a machine. So he just wants this to cut a few blades of grass a couple times a year and call it good. Having said that, this machine has problems. I was going to start it up for you to show you what it's doing. Just imagine black smoke. I originally looked down, now mind you the cover was on this at this point, and I saw a very shiny bowl. That usually tells me that someone replaced the carb, which some of these aftermarket ones, the jetting is completely off. So I thought I was going to have to replace a jet. Took the cover off. As you can tell, there's two screws, one right there. Cover goes on top and then it screws in there. Anyway, took off the screws and I noticed this. See if you can figure out what's wrong there. This has a choke. Not only does it have a choke, but this machine is not the type that has a choke. And even if it was the type to have a choke, it wouldn't be like this. It would be different. It would have a little arm off to the side, and yeah, it would just be different. So when they try to fix it, they put the wrong style carburetor on there. So this is, for reference, the correct style carburetor. It has no choke, has a little port right here. We'll explain what that is for in a minute. And the top is blocked off. That's important because sometimes if you just take the choke off, there's going to be a hole right there, and while it's not really going to affect that one, it's not going to affect a whole lot with the mixture. You're going to be sucking in unfiltered air, and that's not a good thing. So this one was like $9 on Amazon. I don't have the original, otherwise I would just prefer to use the original, but $9 on Amazon isn't all that bad of a thing. And these are so simple that really the only thing that can get wrong is a jetting size. And if that is the case, we have a selection of jetting that we can use. And if you're having this problem, use your old jet off your old carb. Boom, done. So first things first, we're going to take off this plate. So bear with me if I'm seeming a little different. It's because it's been a month since I recorded a single thing. It's the holidays. You're probably going to see this in the summertime. Because, well, just me editing takes time. The holidays came around. We vacationed, got back, hurt my back. Not bad or anything, but definitely not something that I would have preferred to have done. So a little bit of a vacation was needed from the garage. Yeah, this thing's torched. Oh, it's also silicone on there. I'm not 100% against the idea, but it was also on the wrong way. If you're going to use silicone, it should be on, yeah, it was like this. It should be on the outside, because that is just going to glue it to the carb, not prevent a leak from the primer. So we have some problems on this machine. Valid attempts, but not, unfortunately, anything that would have panned out. Tank is pretty much full, so we're gonna clamp down on that and take off the fuel line. As a side note, I'm working with a landscaper now who has a bunch of shovels he needs to have made for removing trees. That's something that anyone would be interested in watching. Let me know. I'll start recording them. It's pretty self-explanatory. You don't really need a whole lot of tools either. Definitely need some, but not a whole lot. Now we take a 3/8. We take that bad boy off, hoping that this is going to be a fairly straightforward procedure. And you don't need a horrendously long extension like I was using. I was using that so I wouldn't block your camera view. So this carb is probably still good for whatever style of Briggs it was meant for, but saying that, I don't know where or what type exactly, so I'll keep it, but I don't know what type it would have to be. It looks obviously familiar, but it's not really coming to mind on what exactly the style of machine it would be. Let's put the fuel light on, kind of help us out here. The O-ring stayed. Ah, come on. So we don't have to worry about the O-ring. And I think it was replaced. It looked pretty new. I have another one, but what's the point of replacing a already good O-ring? Boom. Okay, so now we do need another one of those gaskets. Luckily the carb that I purchased came with its gasket. If they don't, then you would want to obviously buy one. There's two different types. There's one that has this little hole and one that doesn't. The one that doesn't is for the choke version, and you need to buy the right one. I'll just put it that way. And there's also another one that has a hole in a different location. So definitely when purchasing those, look at the type that you need. If you're unaware of the type, on the side of the shroud here, it will have a model number. Look that model number up on whatever site you feel comfortable on. Replacement parts, jack small engine, whatever one you want. And yeah. So I put the screws through, and I'm now just going to anchor this down. The reason why I'm not really against the fact that person using silicone is this. This plate has a really bad habit of getting warped if somebody just really cranks down on it. And that gasket that we just put down isn't the thickest of material. So it needs to make a pretty secure, good, solid connection. If it doesn't, you're not going to prime. So that's why you see when I was doing that, I didn't really hunker down on it at all. Let's take the clamp off. We're gonna let it fill with fuel, and then we'll be right back. So this machine didn't come with it. I think the person just forgot it, so I just grabbed another one. There should be a third screw right here. Would it have ran? Yeah, probably. Would it be a bad thing? Nah, probably not. But it is good to have. I mean, if they thought it was important to keep or to install it at the factory, just follow their lead. We're looking at that little emulsion tube. I am not seeing. You should see fuel come up. I thought this tank was almost full. Did it leak out? No, it's not almost full, but there is fuel in there. So we are going to do one trick. And see if that trick works. If that trick does not work, then we're going to break out the silicone. The primer bulb itself seems fine. I hear air. So this is the one that came off of it. Everything seems fine on it. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take off these screws, release the good gasket, put the old one on, kind of press it in those little areas there, and we're going to take our good gasket and we're going to put it on again. Double gasketing is usually frowned upon, but in situations like this, it's pretty much one good way of getting a result that we need. Because like I said, this plate is probably warped. I know I'm using an impact to drill or to ram these in, but if you don't do this often, don't use an impact. Use a hand tool. A little tighter than I usually would. So now, push this. Yeah, I think it could be a little tighter. I think this one wasn't very as much. Yeah, that should work. I see fuel coming out. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to put in that third screw, put the air filter on, put the cover back on, and then give it a pull. Cover's on. Everything should be good to go. Filter is brand new. They also put a new plug in. I think they bought a kit off Amazon too. Got the wrong kit, put everything on, and here we are. So we should be good to give it a pull. I did just prime it not too long ago, so we might need to do it again, but let's see if we do. That's right, there we go. It's gonna not feel good. Yeah, we might need to do a couple more primes. Let's see. It says 3, we'll do 5. It is cold outside. It's like 40 degrees. Try that many. It is a brand new carb, so sometimes it takes a few extra ones. I couldn't quite get it in time. Let's try this again. It's running way too fast. I don't think we need to do this, but sounds pretty good now. So there we have it. Everything is good to go. When you're purchasing a carb, make sure, like I said, it's from the right machine. If you're unaware, look up the model number. For these machines, it's right here. Don't know how to read the code, I have a video on that, so watch that. But other than that, yeah, brand new carb install. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy. if you have any questions or anything, leave a comment below. Definitely like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. If this helped you out, definitely put a like on that, because helped you out, helped me out. But other than that, pretty easy little repair, $9. And the other person would have just spent a little more time looking at the specifics. They probably would have saved themselves a lot of money just having to buy a new one. So those details are very important. If you are to that point where you're replacing it, take it off, empty the fuel out of it, and browse the internet on your phone, your laptop, whatever you use, and just make sure when you look at the pictures, they're exactly the same. Exactly the same. Yes, they might be a tad bit different colored or whatnot. That's fine. But the physical features need to be the same. Obviously, the other one was not. So you had a problem. I'm going to go ahead and leave you with that. And definitely have a good night. See you later.